After an evening of getting into arguments with men up at the pub, fistfights on the side of the road and scaring passers-by, I felt totally cleansed. Art, sex and power clung all over the concrete steps of my flat, and as I turned the key to the front door, art, sex and power chimed through the hallway. Screaming that we couldn't get enough of it, the landlady wanted me gone. She wanted me to dissolve as I reminded her too much of her estranged daughter, and she would say day after day that she needs me gone, but she also wanted to provide me with a roof over my head. She was a basic level of a functioning alcoholic. Caught in a crossfire, naturally on my own, I feel tonight is particularly lucky. There was a book on the coffee table saying Art, Sex and Power, and I read a page from it as I waited for my landlady to paint her face with mascara and get into character Miranda Springs. She adored being Miranda Springs. She is Miranda Springs. Having had a husband for just 7 days, exceeded beyond imagination. Miranda Springs stood in front of the mirror. I kneeled beside, watching and listening to her repeat, "I always live in style and will remain to live in style. Many, many men have fallen into this cleavage and drowned. Believe me, I watched a few. They died happily." She continued to tighten the sides of her face with tape and began stating, "Nothing is more incredulous, more spellbinding than an aging actress who can't get a role. And that's not her fault. This cruel world is cruel to Jezebel. In fact, a roller coaster of trials and tribulations. Too much of one thing at one given time, too blue, too smiley, too loud, hair too dark, hips too wide, too narrow, voice too broken or too husky, too lifeless." The list continues. What stands before us, this aging blonde, hair crispy and thin, tan faded away into a bottle of Saint-Tropez, Botox from ear to ear, injected out of her eyes and dent in her brain, malnourished, in a constant state of insecurity, wired and neurotic, all wrapped in a smock, shielded by dark sunglasses. The drive is at an all-time low. She repeats, "Another year of relaxation, tried and tested, another year of relaxation." We all went back to the pub that same evening, since Miranda had apologised for being rude earlier and forgiven me for whatever crime I committed. She wanted me to meet at a famous club owner who was going to get her shows up and down the country. They started to tell us stories and they were really making me laugh. We drank like a fish and wanted to continue on at our flat. Arriving, we realised we didn't have our keys, since we left in a scrappy mess like barking Rottweilers. And normally Miranda locks me out and then lets me back in after she decides I've suffered enough. Carl, the club owner, had this miraculous plan. He recommended a tactic he used to do as a young lad. The perfect way to draw attention when locked out of one's house is to try and scare the neighbours. Try and pull down the telephone wires and start an ignition, start a plug, spark plug, and pull down the telephone wires and start an ignition. Burn the bushes and the trellises of plants all the way around the door. Just to bring light, and everyone will look outside and see smoke rings and cinders from the flames of hell. And the idea is that they all come fleeing and open the door to let us in. So I gave it a go. In the instance of me climbing the trellis and hoisting my body onto the roof tiles, along the ledge, grabbing the wires and creating sparks, starting small and burning a few bushes, lighting jolted through the sky and the thunder clapped. As the lighting beamed above, radiating my skin, absorbing into my cheeks like a strobe light. And as the lighting ricocheted, excruciating ripples of electricity penetrated my entire body, glowing to a white circuit board. I was electrocuted, and as the road was quietly burning, lightning sparked the telephone poles, everything grinded to a halt. The sky was a deep indigo, and the shape of electricity filled the surroundings. When I become nervous, I become aggressive and start dropping things as I don't know. Things just fall out of my hands. The telephone wire slipped and I lost my footing and fell into the burning flames. When the nurse woke me up, she said, "Quick, quick, you're on the telly, my darling." Somewhere between Twentilove, roadkill and debris, this through its path, disfiguring anything that stands in its way. In the middle distance of the wood is a stream where water rushes. The forest is burning bright blue gas flames. Its halo extends past the sun. The heavens are open, and several gods have stepped out.